Hey, everybody. You know, it's so cool outside. You almost need a sweater, don't you? It's not 99 degrees, 120 feels like, for heaven's sakes. Supposedly we're going to have some nice cool weather this weekend. Fine, whatever it takes. So welcome to Mary Wieden You. We're going to talk about something most interesting, I think, if you have a dream of becoming an actor. And by the way, whether it's all actors or actors and actresses, we'll figure that one out in just a minute, because I've got a couple of heavy hitters here from NewStage Theatre, and you'll have a chance to talk with them and find out how you can do that. You can make your dreams come true. And for those of you who already have achieved the dream, well, there'll be things ahead for you as well. But first of all, I just want to start off with this. It's a grisly story, but it had a good ending, and I just have to praise the SWAT team members for bringing a guy out who had just shot his wife many times. Many bullets were fired at her because she had a boyfriend, and he went to her place of employment yesterday in Jackson, Westwood Apartments it was. She worked there. That wasn't where she worked, but she worked out of there. And he went and fired these. His name was Ron Christopher Allen, and she and was his wife of 20. She was 24 years old. And she had a boyfriend allegedly, and so this made the man angry, and he went there and shot her, like I say, many times. And then he holed up in the building for a while. So SWAT negotiators from Hinds County and JPD were the ones who got him to give it up and come out and like hooray for them. How do you do that? You know, here's somebody who is out of his mind anyway, with having killed his wife, and you know his emotional level must be off the top of his head, and who knows if he was on any drugs or booze or anything like that. How negotiators break through to people like that, I just admire that so much. I ought to have him on the show, because how do you do that? I mean, these people are in the fog of intense emotions and all that kind of stuff, and yet the guy came out, so we'll know what happened altogether. Sad situation, but I think it had a good ending in terms of getting this guy out, and he'll pay the price for what he did. So other than that, so onward to happy things. So welcome to Francine Reynolds. She's artistic director at NewStage, and Joey Nelms. He's the brand new director of marketing. So welcome to you both.
Thank you for having us, Mary. Good morning.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Having auditions, that is so cool for people who. Okay, for somebody out there's like, oh, I want to audition. I think I got some talent.
Well,
looking at those people,
they're open. Anybody can come to our open auditions for the 60th season at NewStage Theatre.
Yeah, wow, the diamond year.
Yeah.
So do you make an appointment, or
right?
What are the hours and stuff like that?
Well, we're going to have open auditions for the season on August 11th and 12th, Monday, August 11th, and Tuesday, August 12th, and we have times for youth and adults. And there's a lot of information on our website, but I'll give you just a little bit.
Yes.
On Monday, we have between 2 and 3:30 and 6 and 8 p.m. for adults. And on Tuesday, we have between 6 and actually 8:15 and 8:30 on 8:15 on Monday and 8:30 on Tuesday. I just added some slots. And on for youth, on Monday we have times between 3:30 and 5:50 on Monday, and 4 and 5:50 p.m. on Tuesday. So we have some 5-minute slots. The actors need to be prepared. They need to prepare a monologue, and it needs to be memorized.
Okay.
And it can be anything. It can be a lot of actors come in with original work, which is always fun for me and the people who are in there watching the auditions, because it's new and fun. And I'm always like, did you write that yourself? And they did. And many times it's really, really good. So I'm like, oh, there's a lot of writers out there too. But these auditions are open to anybody. We're looking for all ages for our season. We're looking for actors, singers / actors who can sing for some of our shows, which I'll get into in a minute.
Yeah.
But how you register is to go to our website, NewStageTheatre.com.
And that's THEATRE.
That's right. You've got it. You know it. And go to events, and then you'll do the drop-down menu for auditions. It'll give you the instructions. You have to go to a sign-up mechanism to sign up. And we ask that everybody, if they decide they can't audition, that they cancel their audition, because, because we're starting to get a lot of inquiries. We're starting to get people calling and asking about it.
You get a lot of this, too. Yeah. I got news for you. You get a lot of this.
Well, so there's not very many slots left. Oh. And I may have to add some more, but there's also instructions on how to get on our waiting list if none of the times work for you. And so if someone cancels, we'll move people in from the waiting list. But there are still some slots available now for both adults and youth. So, go ahead.
What was I going to say? Can you audition for future reference?
Yes.
You know, just you know, if you can't use me, or I'm not going to do this. But if I were the person auditioning, because I'd be scared to death to do it. But anyway, so if you say, well, you know, you have some talent, but you know, not for the show, could I say, well, can you put me on a list for?
That's actually one of the main purposes of auditions.
Yeah, who's out there?
We want to build relationships with people in the community, people who act with us, people who do anything with us, go back years, and once you get on, people work for decades. I was interviewing one of our long-standing staff in the construction yesterday. JR has been helping us for decades and decades and decades, and he's planning to help us for decades more.
Good.
Once you're with us, it's as long as you want to be with us. We develop talents. Come to us so we can help you build on your skills if you're not ready yet. If you are ready, I'm sure we can find a spot for you.
Well, you said construction, so that's for the theater. You know, sets and things like that.
That's right. We do everything from scratch.
Will these auditions be for those people too?
No. This is
that's
just
another thing.
Just on stage talent.
It's just that many times people come to audition and it's for the season. It's not for one particular show. It's like that's why you have to prepare that monologue so we can see what you can do and be able to fit it into the season. Many times, some people have come like 4 years ago, and they might get cast this season. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I encourage people to keep coming so that you are on our radar, so to speak, so you are on our mind, so that when we look at how it works is you come to the open audition, and then for every show, we will do what's called callback auditions.
Gotcha.
We'll do auditions for that specific show where we invite you to come to those auditions. And I love to have people come to the open audition, no matter how many times they've been in shows with us, so that I have them in my mind when we're developing that callback list.
Good. Yeah.
So, so I'll go back to years ago, like 4 years ago, open auditions to look for the list of people to call back for each show.
Wow.
And I keep
That's
notes,
wonderful.
and I file all the notes for each year. And we do videotaping, so we have the videotapes if we need to jog our memory. But it's real important to come to those auditions so that we know that you're interested, we know who you are, and we can see how you've developed, too, for some of our younger actors to see how they've progressed.
Well, how young is young? And we say youth.
Well,
from what age?
It's as young as 7.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
for this year,
That's
but
cool.
not many parts for the younger. It's just we have a couple of parts available for younger, that young, in Ragtime, the musical at the end of the season, and in Frozen, our holiday musical.
Oh, yeah.
So,
So that's
it's
not
very,
cast yet, huh?
Oh, no.
Oh.
No. We are in the midst of casting from what we call submissions for the entire season. So we've started the process for sure. But again, nothing is cast for. Now, the first show is, but nothing after that is cast. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you go about marketing that kind of thing, Joey?
For Frozen or for any show?
Any show.
So we like to start from the beginning. This is our, like you said, diamond anniversary. So that's 60 years. 60 years ago, we put it together down on Gallatin Streets. We've obviously moved down to the historic Bellhaven neighborhood. We've been there forever. Started with Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf so long ago.
Oh, wow.
And so what we're pitching, what we're reminding people of this year is that we've been doing it for 6 decades. We are the experts in Mississippi. We're a part of Broadway history. We've had, after Eudora Welty put on her first Broadway success, for instance, she came right back to Jackson and she did it again, but she did it here. And then she went back to Broadway. We're as intertwined with Manhattan as you can get. And I want people to know that we do everything from scratch. We build all our sets. We do all our stunts. The sound effects work. Every bit of it. It's as professional as it can get. And we're doing it again that way this year. So how do I market that?
Well, I was going to say the thing about building your sets. I'm no expert, but I remember when I went to see Sound of Music, and I was so impressed with the whole production anyway, because it was that was a Friday night, and then Sunday night I was surfing on TV and came upon Sound of Music, and it was I was like, oh my God, this is the same set. I mean, it was done so well. It was exactly, and the whole thing was very impressive. So if people don't know that, and remember a few months ago we had the guy who was here for the $1 Million Night, or what that was.
$1 Million Quartet.
Yeah, the $1 Million
Christmas.
Quartet. Yes. Yeah,
It was called $1 Million Quartet Christmas.
that long ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, the man Chris, who is does a lot of things, and he was one of the characters as well. But anyway, he had great praise for NewStage. For those of you who don't know that, he was saying that it's the best of your facility is the best theater, it's the best organization in this region, he said. Not just the state, but the region, the southeastern region. I thought, well, that's very impressive. So, if you don't know that, this is not some little rinky-dink neighborhood theater group, folks. This is big time. Big time.
Yeah, I think people don't always know. We have 5 hidden stories in our theater, thousands of costumes, shops for costumes, shops for sets. We have separate practice rooms where we do stage rehearsals that's taped to the inch for exactly how we'll build the set weeks later.
Wow. And I just think that's really cool. If you got questions, you can call us up at 888-808-8637. That's 888-808-8637. And if you wish to text us, we are at 601-879-4395. That's 601-879-4395. And you can watch us because we're live streaming, supertalk.fm/Mary. And it's going to go on to a little bit later on YouTube as well. Lance will post it on YouTube, take out the commercials, and there we'll all be on YouTube. So that's good publicity for everybody. Well, I love it that you're doing these things in person. It's one thing to send a tape in, but that more for some things. But to actually come down, how do people know that these auditions are going on, by the way?
Well,
if you don't know and you're like, this is the first I've heard of it.
And Joey has put stuff on our social media outlets. Okay. And like I said, it's on our website. And usually I send out an email to all the actors who have participated in the last couple of years. But we filled up so quickly this year. Like I said, we have a few slots left. I didn't send out that letter or that email. And so I think people look for us to be who know that we do open auditions every year around this time. Actually, it's the same week as last year, this August time. So, and we are actually required by the union to have open auditions too. If we want to hire union actors, we have to say that we open up to any non-union and union actor to come in and show their work.
What union is it?
It's Actors Equity Association.
Okay, we would know that.
It's the union for stage performers and stage managers.
But not everybody has to join.
Oh no,
it doesn't matter if you are.
We have folks in the union and folks not in the union in our shows.
Yeah. And everybody, what I want to say is everybody who crosses our stage gets paid. Now, the children, the youth get a small stipend, but they also get paid, and they love. It's so cute when we have really young actors and they get their paycheck. Yes. Oh, they wait for the paycheck. It's really, really cute, and it's like saying that this is something that's a profession for people.
Well, sure,
and that. It's real important for us to make sure some of the pay, of course, is part-time pay, and some of it's, for our union members is a little bit different, but anyway, everybody gets paid.
Well, didn't you have kids in Sound of Music?
Lots of kids.
Lots of kids. Lots of money. No, but I'm sure they got a kick out of that.
Yeah.
That's a very cool thing.
Yeah. So they don't get paid when they come to our day camp. That's a whole different thing. That's an instructional thing. That's camp.
That's camp.
That's
kind of like camp.
Yeah.
Well, how often, or does it happen often, that somebody who it was really afraid to do it, said, "Okay, I worked up my nerve. I'm going to go down there and do it." Does that happen often? That have somebody who's completely raw, completely just
the stories
they want to do it.
The stories are fascinating because I like to get to know the people who I don't know. So I always ask them what brought them to the theater to audition. And it's really just really fascinating. Some people had wanted to do it all their life and never did it. And so you have to really applaud. It's not easy. It's scary to make yourself vulnerable. It's scary to make yourself that vulnerable. Yeah. And we love that vulnerability, though. When someone opens themselves up, that's what you're looking for anyway. When someone's on stage, you want them to be open.
We love new people, and we don't forget people. Like Francine is saying, these names come back up in production meetings time and again when we're doing these casting decisions. It always starts with, well, what about so-and-so who came in last year? Are they better than they were before? Had they grown? Are they already as great as they need to be, but they didn't fit the part before? We talk about them consistently. We want to build these relationships.
What happened with the young woman who played Anne Frank? She was amazing. Diary of Anne Frank is, I don't know how many years ago, but we had her on the show.
Elizabeth Teal is her name.
She looked like Anne Frank. She looked like her. I don't know if you saw her.
Before my time.
Before your time. But she looked like her. She didn't have any makeup on or anything like that. It didn't matter. She just looked like Anne Frank. She did a fabulous job.
Yeah. She was teaching. I'll have to research that.
Yeah.
So, doing maybe some show choir at a school, maybe her alma mater. So, a lot of our actors who are cast in shows, a lot of them are music and drama teachers throughout the area. They're so talented. They know so much. The director of our first show, Malika Quarterman, is a drama teacher, and she had been at APAC, and she's teaching at another school this year. She's just really terrific. And that's what I've found, that our resources here for our local people are just as strong as the people we bring in from out of town. And it's always, people ask me, how do I get cast? Why am I not cast in this? Who, what, all those questions. And it usually has to do with the combination of people and what is needed for that particular production.
So that's what they're coming for. For the rest of the year, right? Which productions?
You want me to tell the show?
Yes, please do.
And Joey can help me out here. Our first show of the season is The Play That Goes Wrong. It's a really funny comedy, but it starts rehearsals in a couple of weeks. So we opened up that submission process to everybody also, but that's been cast. Our second show of the season is the thriller Wait Until Dark. It has not been cast.
It was a movie, right?
It was a movie.
It was an Audrey Hepburn movie.
Yeah.
Who was blind?
Yeah.
She was blind.
You got it.
Yeah, okay.
There is one youth in that, a teenager, and then 4 adults. The next show, we need a large cast. We need really good singers and dancers for Frozen. Oh. Disney's Frozen.
Yes.
That's really exciting. It's good, because it just became available for theaters to do, so a lot of theaters are doing it.
Oh, wow.
The following show after that is the 2024 Pulitzer Prize winner called Primary Trust. And that has 4 people also. It's really charming.
What's it about?
I can't give too much of it away. It's about a man who's isolated from loneliness.
Okay.
And he goes every night to have Mai Tais. And he works at a bookstore, and he lost his job at the bookstore. So he is hired by a bank, the Primary Trust. And it's developing new relationships and how to combat that loneliness and isolation. Our final show this season is Ragtime, which needs a really large cast.
Do you want to do another segment? I mean,
Absolutely.
I can talk about it. Okay,
yes.
well.
You have such great questions. We're ready.
Well, thanks. Got some commercials coming up here in a second. What you got for music? What is that? What is that?
I went with a little high society here, Giovanni Rossini. So
okay.
We're doing what you talking about.
Well,
back.
I was going to say. Yeah, okay. We'll be back in just a few on Mary Wieden You. Joey, you're familiar with this, right?
My nephew would love this song.
EDM. It's Chris Lake and Green Velvet. It's called Deceiver. But that's EDM. I love that kind of EDM, electronic dance music. Channel 53 Diplo on satellite. No. Whole new thing. Whole new thing for the Youper here.
Yes, I'm not I don't know pop music very much.
Well, it's not pop. I don't know how to describe
That's
it.
pop adjacent. Club music.
It is, and it's all pretty much the same. It's four beat, I guess, and it's very percussion, very bass. It's the same. So, but I don't know. There's just something that appeals to me about that.
It's peppy.
Yeah, there's a song I really like called "Losing It" by Fisher. Have you ever heard of that one? But that's the only words are "losing it." I mean, this isn't much different. You can learn these lyrics in a red hot minute. But anyway, I thought it'd be perfect for talk radio people to have. So thank you very much, Lance, for playing that. In the studio, I've got Francine Reynolds. She's artistic director for NewStage, and Joey Nelms, director of marketing. Brand new in the job, by the way. How new are you in the job?
I'm about a week and 3 quarters.
Oh, well, how about that? What's your background? Brought you into it?
My wife and I are both from Pearl, Mississippi. A couple of Rankin County rednecks.
Yeah, Rankin County.
Yeah.
And then Rankin County here.
We're still Rankin County proud. But we dove off to Georgia for a while for grad school and other things. Did a stint in Los Angeles in the movie business. Worked at Peacock, NBC, Universal, that kind of stuff. Did some television shows with Julia Roberts and the gang. And then scooted on back over here. Did some movies in Mississippi. And my wife got hooked up to NewStage through another Rankin County legend, Jerrianna Shaw. And I was doing freelance photography and stuff for them for the past year or so. And so when it opened up, when Mia moved on to her bright future, took over.
Yeah, we're happy to have Joey.
Congratulations. Yeah.
And his wife, Casey, is our production manager.
And they're expecting their first baby.
Yeah.
How about that? So you'll have a new cast member before long. We've been talking about, so you really do bring a rich background to all this.
Yeah, I try.
How did you like living in L.A.? I mean, it depends on, I guess, where you live and what you do as to whether you hate it or love it.
We lived everywhere. We lived in Koreatown. We lived in Fairfax, all over the basin. Pros and cons. The food's great. It's the best food in the country. I think it's surpassed Manhattan at this point. All types of fun events to do, midnight movie showings, movies in famous graveyards. We saw a movie one time where Toto from Wizard of Oz was buried. He was just right next to us, and watched movies. Cons are obviously parking and traffic and insane crime.
But you got the ocean. That's the thing. You got water.
You can get to it.
Get big water. And we, those of us who live at the reservoir, there's canals up, but then there's big water.
It's endless. Yeah, you can walk for hours. Same beach. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Mm-hmm. You spend any time out there, Francine?
I did.
When I was Superior, that's no shabby little
that's
pond.
That's no shabby pond. When I was doing locations casting here for films, I went to L.A. I can't remember how many times, but yeah, I've been there. And you say the ocean, but I mean, you got to take to get out there.
Yeah, it can be difficult to get there.
Traffic, a little bit of traffic.
Yeah.
But and by the way, I'm going to call the Public Safety Commissioner, because I heard this morning somebody say that our commissioner is very high on there's going to be driver's ed coming to Mississippi again. We had it years ago. I remember that, and so I got to have him on to talk about that. I'm so happy about that because I used to be a good driver. We learned up in Michigan how to drive well.
It trips me out that there was a driver's. I mean, because you had to do driver's ed.
We had to, yes.
Yeah.
Well, they had it here a few years ago. We had an exchange student who went to one of the local schools. She's from Germany, and I said, Olga, you should take driver's ed. So she took driver's ed, and so her teacher said she was really good, but she should not get on the Autobahn without asking her dad to take her. Anyway, so I said, you want to drive around my neighborhood? Sure. So we drove around, and when first of all, she didn't click until you were signal until she got into the turn, which is a typical thing they do here. And then when she made the turn, she didn't know how to use the steering wheel, so she sort of had to pull over and get the steering wheel turned and go straight. Like, I said, it'd be a really good idea if you had your dad help you. And honestly, that was driver's ed. I mean, that was terrible. But anyhow, I heard that this morning. My heart just we're going to have that. Yeah. So if you have any driving movies or productions coming up, I mean, at NewStage where somebody's driving ability.
Well, no, but speaking of Mississippi, of what's going on in Mississippi, I didn't have time to talk about a play that we're doing that's really exciting. Joey, you want to tell them about the Atala Garden County? Wait, I always say it wrong. The Atala County Garden Club.
Okay.
That's right.
Atala County Garden Club.
So this is from a NewStage native. Topher Payne started his theater career at NewStage as an intern many years ago. Now he's a pretty big shot over in Atlanta. He's had plays all over the country.
And movies on Hallmark.
Yeah. He's a true Southern dramatist. That I think would make Tennessee Williams proud.
He wrote for Hallmark.
Oh,
because I watch
Christmas
a lot of that
movies.
stuff. Oh, I love those movies.
Yeah, he's made a career out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Check him out on IMDb for sure.
Yeah.
Topher Payne.
Topher Payne.
And we did a show of his we've done a lot of readings of his plays, and because he's won a prestigious Susan Blackburn Award for Emerging Playwright. That was probably a decade ago for his play Perfect Arrangement that we've had a reading of at NewStage, and we produced his play Morningside.
Does he act?
Topher act. He's a director, actor, playwright, and his play, the Atala Garden.
The Atala County Garden
Club is a lot of fun, and it's female centered. It's we need 6 females for that and 1 male. So that's
all right.
A lot of female parts.
It's your time to audition,
and it involves a woman who's trying to get into her mother's garden club, and they reject her. But another garden club is kind of interested in her, but there's a little bit mystery with that garden club, and it seems to be around spells and charms and that type of thing, and it's just it has a little bit of mystery, and it's funny, and it's definitely a Topher. If you know Topher and if you've seen his plays or whatever, it's definitely a Topher play.
Got a bit of a pulp kind of.
It's fun, and we have growing plants on stage, so it should be a lot of fun. And
what do you do for stuff like that, by the way? For that, do you use real plants or do you use the silk stuff?
We can't use real plants because they die.
Oh, well, that's
we have
true.
trap doors that sometimes we utilize that come right from the basements, so we can make anything grow out of that. We can drop stuff down from the curtains way on high, the catwalk, anything. If you can dream it, we can do it.
Wow, amazing! It's interesting you're talking about Topher because there are a couple of do you call them actresses or is everybody actors?
Well, a general term is actor.
Yeah, everybody's an actor.
But people may recognize male actor, actress, female, but generally you just say actor.
Well, there are a couple of actors on Hallmark who have written, and they have starred in these things. Paul Campbell is the male, and female, I can't think of her name, but they've written some fun things for Hallmark. One of them is like Three Wise Men and a Baby. That's a very cute, silly little thing that they did, but some other stuff, and they act very well together too. So that's nice that you have people like that. Well, I'm thinking of somebody who was real famous, who was not his real job was far, far, far from acting, but he was a very good actor. I never saw him on stage, and that's the late Sheriff Malcolm McMillan. He was apparently a really good actor, wasn't he? I don't know.
Yeah, the last show, actually, I directed the last show that he was in at NewStage. He played Big Daddy in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
Oh, that was great.
Oh, yeah, he was great. He was really a friend of the theater, and during our 50th anniversary, since the 60th anniversary is on my mind because we're going to be doing some special fundraising around the 60th anniversary because we want to exist and thrive and continue to have more anniversaries. And it's not easy. Definitely not easy now. But anyway, he really helped us with our 50th anniversary campaign. He was one of the chairs, and he took people around and asked for money and introduced people from NewStage to some people who have money to give, and we're looking for that same type of activity for our 60th anniversary. Like I said, ticket sales are only 50% of what happens at the theater and pays for, 50% of what happens, but all of our educational programs, all of those types of things need special funding.
So, yeah, if somebody's out there saying, well, I can't act, but I got some money, what do I do? Contact
us at NewStage Theatre, 601-948-3533. That's our number for if you have any questions about auditions, too. We have a special auditions extension. It's extension 236, and you can leave your name, phone number, email, text, and to get on that waiting list, and we'll let you know what's happening.
I hope people are generous because you are such a good theater. Y'all are, it's professional stuff. Like I said, it's not some backyard production. It's professional stuff. And let's go through again the dates for this open auditioning now.
Yeah. Open auditions are
now.
Monday, August 11th and Tuesday, August 12th. And we still have some slots available, and it's open. It's open to anybody. Your experience level does not matter to us. We just ask for the audition, this 5-minute slot, that your audition not be longer than 3 minutes, and you can sing and you can do a monologue and you can play an instrument if you want to bring your instrument with you. We do not have an accompanist for the audition, so you will need to bring your music, your soundtrack that you plug into the we plug it into the speaker so you can hear it, or you can bring an accompanist. We will have a piano there, but the monologue shouldn't be longer than 2 minutes.
And it could be anything, right? It could be something from a famous play, like whatever.
Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. It could be, I've had people do monologues from movies. A lot of people last year did the monologue, the woman's, stand empowerment monologue from Barbie.
Oh, okay.
From the movie Barbie. It's a really good monologue, and a lot of people did it. A lot of our youth have been in our day camp, and they learn the monologues in day camp. And I will say the youth are always really good at our auditions.
When you say youth, what ages are we talking about?
Well, like I said, Joey said we need age 6
till
7 to 17 is our youth range.
Okay, 7 to 17, but 6 would be okay.
Well, we have a young character in
Frozen?
No. She's two young characters in Frozen, but really young in Ragtime. But, yeah. So we don't have, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, we don't have a lot of young roles this year. But some years we do, like Sound of Music, we had more. Mm-hmm. But we do have, for young people at the theater, we have lots of classes. We have our youth acting troupe where they perform shows, and that meets every Saturday morning. That's taught by our education director, Zoran Mingo, who does our day camp and who's everybody knows because he's in shows and does choreography.
A lot of folks may not know, but we actually have 2 theaters. We have a secondary location here in Jackson as well, in the other half of Belhaven, where we do a lot of our maybe edgier and newer plays. Sometimes our associates come in and they train as a type of apprenticeship, and they do stuff there. We also do a lot of youth stuff over there, so we're serving community as we can. This is a chance to grow your skills, so we know about you and build those relationships we're talking about.
And where is it physically located?
That is across Fortification.
1000 Monroe Street.
Okay.
Or Moody. It's on the corner of Moody and Monroe.
Call it the Warehouse.
Okay. Okay,
It used to be a long time ago, it was the Community Children's Theater. It's where they rehearsed. They didn't do shows there, though, but the Junior League of Jackson had this children's theater, Community Children Theater, that went around to schools. It had been in existence since the 1920s. And they sold it or gave it to a group who would do these children's shows.
Well, that wraps us up. We done talking to you. So glad you came this morning. Okay, NewStage. If they want to know, okay, auditions are August 11 and 12. Then you go to newstage.com.
NewStageTheatre.com.
NewStageTheatre.com.
And registration does close on August 7th.
Yeah. Okay, so hurry up and do that because we might be watching you, as in Mary Wieden You, on NewStage. Thanks an awful lot, both
Thank
of
you
you.
so much for having us.
It's
Thanks,
Francine
Mary.
Reynolds and Joey Nelms. Good luck. Have a great season. We'll be back in just a minute. There, I'm properly outfitted, outrigged. So that was really good. I enjoyed that. That's very cool. If you want to, don't be shy. If you think that that you could act, hey, and they're looking for singers and dancers as well. But August 11 and 12, and again, it's NewStage Theatre. NewStageTheatre.com if you want total information on how to do that. And really, prepare yourself. It's about a 5-minute dialogue. I think that's fascinating, for whatever. It could be from anything to audition. And I'm sorry that I never got to see Malcolm McMillan act, by the way. I understand he was terrific. Did you ever see him? No?
I think I would just sing the Chris Lake Deceiver song would be my 5 minutes.
Oh, that would be really good. Yeah, right. Have you ever thought about acting?
I mean, not really. I enjoy movies and watching, but as far as getting out there and doing it, I've never really considered as a hobby or a profession.
I would have stage fright. It's one thing to be in a radio studio or in a TV studio, and you're on the air. You don't know. You can't see who's out there. You hope there's a bunch of people, but if you're in a theater and they're looking at you, you'd be like,
I've always thought theater would be very difficult. I'm amazed at how they remember lines and do that one after
you don't
another,
have a
show after
teleprompter.
show, and they're so good at it.
They absolutely are. I respect that so much. That's I never thought about that part so much of it. Is seeing the people would be scary to me. I don't know why. I'd be like, hey, you over there? Don't go to sleep or stop laughing. It's not that funny.
Yeah, you see somebody on their phone or something.
Put your phone down. Yeah, doesn't
It has
work.
to be
that
a
way.
great discipline in staying on task. Remembering
Absolutely.
your lines, not paying attention to the crowd and all that good stuff.
What has happened in our world this last week? Last week, my
Good
gosh,
bit.
all those people died, but this week has been quieter. I can't think of any big
quieter
stories.
domestically. I would say internationally, though, we've had a pretty busy
Good.
week. Yeah,
It's been good.
you had a good announcement, though. If you're either party, really, if you're looking at it, a new poll came out and it was showing how far the Democrat Party has slid since the election, and there was.
Well, they keep putting up people like that stupid Waltz guy. My God, that clown. That
26
clown.
points down on the CNN poll, 30 points down on the Wall Street poll, 26 points down on the Gallup poll. So if you're a Democrat, you can look at this and say it can't get much worse before we bounce.
No.
If you're Republicans, you're going, well, we're doing a good job. We've put them in
And
place.
Mom
so.
Daddy for mayor of New York City is absolutely.
don't know what
What
you
is
would
wrong
consider.
with those people in New York City? I mean, what is wrong with them?
Well, I mean,
They
given
make
it's
such a
the
big deal
bastion
about
of
this.
capitalism, for
I mean-
the world, and you want to potentially hire a socialist,
Well, yeah, if
defund
you want
the police,
to kill New York City, I mean, if that's what you want to do, but I mean, but look who else is running, Kumo.
As an
we used to call him
independent,
Kumo. Yeah, who used to call him that was can't think of his name. Oh, Jackson. Reverend Jackson.
Oh yeah.
He used to call him Kumo. And then, so you got him and you got the guy with the beret, the Guardian Angels guy. That's pathetic.
Kind of a clown
That's
circus.
pathetic. Yeah, it is. And I look at Jackson, and we've been down the tubes, but I think we're going to get out of the tubes. It won't take overnight, absolutely not. But I think it's there, and there's just a lot of hope for Jackson, which is a good thing. But not New York City. Well, they're going down. I hate to see that. I think that's just terrible.
And then internationally, the Ruskies have made up some significant ground in Ukraine and have taken a good bit of land and have almost encircled a couple of cities in the southern portion of the Donbass. So that's heating up a bit.
That's kind of never ending.
Yeah, well, you have these periods of ebbs and flows of activity, but since Trump dropped the 50-day
he's got to stop
ultimatum, that Russia's really pushed the pedal down greatly in areas in which they were this summer offensive is a very important move for them. They're seeking to take the whole eastern half of that country. Basically.
Yes, they want that. I heard a horror story about what the Russians have been kidnapping children from Ukraine.
Been doing this for a year or two.
Yeah, now it's becoming a story. Kidnapping these children to raise them as Russians. And stealing them. I mean, they're literally stealing them from people.
We think we have a lot of problems here, and at times America does have issues. We've seen issues here in Jackson, and you have illegals and this and that. But when you really put yourself into that pyramid or triangle or diamond of that area where you have the Caucasus and you have the Balkans, you have Ukraine, and north of that, and then south of that is the Middle East. That area is where most of this conflict has been contained for now, and you just hope it doesn't spill out of that bowl where you have conflict. It happens.
But it's gone on.
Their issues are so diverse.
The diverse, but they're hard.
Oh no, they're not getting
hard
over
stuff.
This stuff.
It's hard stuff, and they don't seem to want to change it much. Like Afghanistan. People say, "Oh, well, you judge Afghanistan by a couple of big cities," but Afghanistan actually it's caves and hills and mountains and stuff. And if you live on the other side of you live would be 3 city blocks away. You have your own language or your own dialect, and I'm over here, and we're fighting back and forth. Right. That goes on all the time. For thousands of years, that goes on.
You can think of the Caucasus as a mix of Arabic and South Asian and European hillbillies, and then you've got, because it's all mountainous, and you think about our hillbillies here, and they're not the most engaging. And then you get over to the Balkans, and it's the concentration of population and religions and cultures and languages, and you got all these rough mountains, so you got a bunch of hillbillies over there too.
Yeah,
and so it's crazy. It's kind of the way it is. And so,
isn't that sad?
It just is.
If you
and those fights go back so long, Mary.
Thousands of years.
So long.
And that's how we do it. That's they would say in the vernacular. Well, it's like if you look at if you're in space and you look at the Earth, we're this tiny little blue ball. Blue and white, really. Blue and white
marble.
Ball. Yeah, we're a pretty marble. And got all this stuff. You can't even get along with the person who lives, 3 blocks away or something like that. It's terrible and sad for so many people. It really, really is. And it just goes on and on and on. Yeah, we are very lucky in this country.
Well, and I think we need to be careful, too, because, when you try to make every individual group, feel wanted and welcomed, and everybody's got this individualistic value to them, I think you're seeing in many places, whether it's in Europe or Eastern Europe or the Caucasus or the Balkans or wherever, even the Middle East, cultures and religions and languages, because you respect them doesn't mean they're going to mix well. A lot of times it's like oil and water, and where you have a lot of these conflicts are heavily diverse. And so I hope in this country we realize that if you look anywhere in the world where there's immense diversity, there's usually immense problems.
Got to promote something for next week. Both of the shows next week. I'm really looking forward to them. Don't tip this one off. You're going to meet one of the newest police officers in our region, in our area, this coming week, this coming Tuesday. I will only say that he wears fur. He wears fur, fur, around him, wears fur in cold weather and in warm weather. That's all I can say about that one, about that particular show. Fascinating. It's going to be fascinating on Tuesday. And then on next Friday, we've got Kenneth Stokes, who haven't had him on in a while. We didn't have the...
Yeah, and Kenneth on in a bit. I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely. He's wanting to do something to do with making things different and consolidating some things with the way things are done at City Hall, but there's so much more to talk to him. But he didn't really have... maybe somebody tried to run against him, but during the election season, we had so many people that we had to wait till everybody got elected and settled in and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll talk with him. But yeah, so you don't want to miss these shows.
You never want to miss Mary Wieden.
Well, no, because you never know.
Caleb Saylor sent me a picture of his senior year in high school. He was the genie in Aladdin. I just got a picture from Caleb while we had our actors here.
We
need to have him go. He needs to go do the monologue and interview and see if he can get on the list.
Oh, he didn't perform at NewStage. They didn't.
No,
do
this was like his senior year. Yeah. So
okay.
he has acting chops.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we need to get him down there.
Well, that's a tough job. I mean, when you do that, though, you got to give you a lot of time, lots of time to that one. So anyway, hey, it's not going to be so hot this weekend. Whoopee!
I mean, it's going to be much more pleasant in many places. At least on Saturday, you got 86. You got 86 in Oxford, and you got about 87, 88 down on the coastal areas, and then it's a little hotter in the Jackson area and the Delta as usual.
I'm looking to do some yard work. I had everything perfect for 4th of July. Of course, how long ago was that? But
that feels
now
like a year ago.
The weeds and all that stuff have grown again, and I don't really have time except for Sunday is going to be the day to get out and do that stuff, and also take this dog to the dog park at the reservoir. Took
Let
her
her
over
go
there.
chew up something else. Huh?
Well, yeah, let her go. She was so naughty. Let her go. We went last Sunday, and listen to this. Okay, I have this my grief therapy dog, mid-sized dog. She played with. Let's see, there was a German wire-haired pointer, a Doberman, a Malinois, a golden doodle, and some other kind of big black dog. I don't know what that was, and a few small ones. And she's right in there with the gang. I mean, she knows how to. She knows
Play
how to
with
deal
the big guys.
Oh yeah. She's a big dog. I mean, she really is. She's not some little weenie little thing, I must say. Anyway, I'm going to try to do that on Sunday as well. And interesting people come to the park too. I'm really glad about that. All right, everybody. So have a good weekend, and we will see you on Tuesday. You don't want to miss Tuesday's show. You don't want to miss any of them, like you said. All right. So have a good one. See ya.